Hello, this is Pharaoh Vincent from Nation 506, and I just wanted to go through some stats that I noticed on a specific fight. And it kind of got me into a spiral of why I won a fight as well as I did, despite having almost completely identical stats to another player. And so this happened the other day, and I've been kind of doing some research ever since. So I want to go ahead and pull up this battle report. And you'll notice here that I lost very little troops. I mean, yes, I am sending 20,000 more than this other player. And when we look at the actual physical statistics, right, we're seeing like 283 melee hit points, 514 on the long range attack, right? Their fleet is generally pretty good. And as I kind of scroll down to my stats, you're going to see 517 on the attack, 297 on the melee hit points, so I do have more hit points. And I was always going to win this fight, but it felt like it should be closer than it actually is. So I'm going to go ahead and play this on 4 times speed just to save time. And you'll see that, my melee lasts longer than his does, which is perfect. That's exactly what you're expecting when you have, a higher melee stat. And even as we go back to like the beginning, he's sending a fair bit of the T10 EMP cannons, right? T10 snipers. This isn't a bad fighting fleet, right? This could absolutely withstand the test of time. So I don't think this is a fleet miss. So that got me looking into the stats in general, and I noticed that this particular player, their increases damage to troops, right? And that's kind of in that central section, is all 22.5%. Their reduces damage from troops is all 20%, right? Those are very easy numbers to remember, right? 22.5 increases, 20 for the decrease on damage. And as I'm looking at my stats, right, I'm looking at 35% increases damage to long range and a 25% increase to the mid and melee troops. And then 23% reduced damage. So what does that mean, right? So knowing that my stats are 23%, in essence, I've canceled out his increased damage to my troops. So what his stats say up here are accurate, right? All of his above stats are fairly accurate to his attack. But because I have that almost 15%, actually no, it is 15, that 15% increased damage to long range troops over his reduced damage, that means that I'm effectively doing 15% more damage to his main troop type, which is a long range player, right? So that would mean that my effective long range attack against this particular individual is about 75% higher, right? Because that's 15% of 517. So you're looking at around 600% long range attack. So if I were to ever give this particular individual any kind of suggestion, it would actually be to increase their damage reduction, but also that increased damage to long range troops to make something like this a bit closer. And I found one of the easiest ways to do that is based on some equipment. And if we look at the equipment itself in these top 4 categories, for the the top 3 and then the 4th one down, or 5th one down on my screen, but you'll see that this specific, actually I'll go into this screen, it's a little easier to see. This middle piece, this middle extension, is actually the one that does the reduced damage or increased damage to long range troops, right? So in every piece, you're going to see either it increases damage to long range, reduces damage, right? Increases damage, reduces damage in this case. This one should be increased damage. With exception of the retrofit, this one gives you increased hit points, which is good, but not great. The medic pod, which gives you increased defense, which again, good, not great. The armor and the simulator all have this central component, which is an A fragment. So I'd highly recommend that that is your first buy on any purple, or if you happen to be either spending or just really lucky with fragments. I would put all of your orange A's, the very first ones, into those stats because it really has a massive impact in those fights. And the best way to get those for free is based on the exchange store here. And I would pick up these component chests, either the A component, go for the purple, don't bother with the blues, or the S component chests. And that is how I have started to max out those specific stats. So I hope this helps somebody, but I just wanted to give everyone, a quick glimpse into one fight. Again, I knew I was always going to win that fight. It was just a matter of by that margin, right? The fact that we were so close in all respects, within, 5% on the actual attack and within 20% or so of hit points. I mean, that's not far off. And to win with 158,000 troops remaining, he didn't even kill half my troops, right? That's a big discrepancy for such a little bit of a difference in stats, right? You would expect this to be a much closer fight. So I hope this video helps somebody, and feel free to leave any comments or send me a message in game if you're on my nation or just want to troll here. We have plenty of those. Please don't troll here, but if you'd like to ask some questions, I'm always willing to help out. And thank you guys for all of your time. I appreciate it.